Hello and welcome to episode 317 of the Casual Tryhard Podcast. I'm Brian,
And I'm James.
and the content gods at Wizards have provided us with bands.
Yeah, it's that time of year again.
Yeah, so they wildly changed two formats.
Yeah, some pretty big changes.
So we have a lot. We have a lot to talk about.
Even like some of the no changes, I think are worth talking about a little bit. I pulled some snippets out of the article there. So I figure we'll go through kind of format by format. Like maybe we'll skip vintage because I don't think anybody actually plays vintage anyway. At least none of our listeners play vintage. So
yeah, I don't know if Scrooge McDuck is part of our listener base.
Yeah, probably not.
So if you have ideas for shows like next week, I think we're going to start on Tarkir Dragonstorm cards. So if there are cards that you want us to talk about, let us know. Or like if you can come up with what the uncommon that's going to be $7 on Card Kingdom in like 3 weeks is going to be.
Absolutely.
Let us know. Facebook, Discord, Twitter, Blue Sky, email. All those links are in the description. Go check them out. Say hey and give us some suggestions.
Yeah, we love hearing from you guys. Those are the ways to get a hold of us. Like Brian said, we're particularly interested in cards that you want to hear about and whatever pick for next Mythic Uncommon's going to be. Also, if you're that one person that's hoarding candelabras and playing vintage, you can let us know also. Might be an interesting conversation. Speak with somebody that's actually playing. Yeah, I'm just making it up. I don't know if there's if that person's in our listener base, but if that's you, hit us up. Like Brian said, Discord, Facebook, whatever. It's all down below. If you're looking to support the show or maybe get into vintage, you can do that by using our TCG player affiliate link, CasualTryHard.com/TCG. Go buy your Moxen and Ancestrals and whatever else you're going to play from TCG player. Support the show at the same time. We'd appreciate it. Doesn't cost you guys anything extra. If you want to support us more directly, you can do so at patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. Chip a couple bucks in over there. You get access to my show notes, so you get a sneak peek about what the episode's going to be about. And you also get access to our unshow. About another hour of content out of us every week. We're old, or sometimes our equipment is either misconfigured or broken, and we spend a little bit of time trying to troubleshoot that before the show starts. We also like to catch up. We don't see each other nearly as often as we used to. So we do that for about an hour before every show and record it for our patrons. You never know what we're going to talk about. It's all over the place. Today was home improvement a little bit and some finance. Yeah. Like actual finance, not magic finance. But yeah, you never know what we're going to talk about. So if that's interesting to you, or if you just want to support the show, like I said, patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. Chip a couple bucks in, help us out, get some more content.
Yeah. So we are going to go through the ban announcement. So if you remember, Wizards has switched to kind of effectively like a quarterly ban announcement, which people are not pleased with. Though I don't think Wizards can please everyone.
Yeah.
But there is like, I watched some stuff today, and kind of the feeling is that if they're wrong, which of course some people think they're wrong, then you're stuck with a bad format for 3 months.
So I got a quick clarification for you, because I don't know. Effectively quarterly, you said. It was tied to set release, right? It was like a certain number of weeks.
So like the next one's June 30th is it come up in the Popper article, and then like I think Blake confirmed it, so it'll be 3 months till the next one.
But are they tied to a set release though?
I think they still are, like every standard set. So it might be less than quarterly, because like now we get like an ungodly number of standard sets every.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to clarify, because like starting next year we have 5 standard sets, right?
So yeah, so I guess that would take it down to like 10 weeks,
Yeah.
which is a little bit more palatable for people.
Yeah.
So, um, the first thing, well, the first format was standard, and they
Yeah.
were like, no changes. So what was their rationale there?
Well, before I get into their rationale, this is like one of the few formats that I have a little bit of recent experience with,
Mm-hmm.
and I tend to agree for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Standard seems pretty good. People that I've talked to that are playing the format tend to be enjoying their time. Think Standard's in a pretty good spot. So, anecdotally, at least, I think what I've heard jives with what Wizards is saying. Um, they said that specifically with Standard, they're trying to get to a point where they can kind of just leave Standard alone. Maybe like there will still be the whatever you want to call them, quarterly or once per set release, like BNR announcements. But they're trying to get to a point where they can just like leave Standard alone. They think that bringing in fresh sets all the time will keep Standard fresh,
Mm-hmm.
and so that they won't have to do anything to like freshen up the format. They did say that maybe like once a year they will look at doing something to freshen up the format if it's starting to get stale. But unless something is, super problematic, they're trying to get to a point where they can just leave Standard alone.
I know that a lot of people have said that standard's kind of like the best it has been for like the last year or so.
Yeah.
And like I watched a Jim Davis video about the bands, and he was like, standard is maybe the best it has ever been
Oh, well,
right at this very instant.
that's pretty high praise from
So
him too, because he's
he plays a lot of a
yeah,
lot of standard,
yeah,
and so he was happy with the no bands or the no bands just because like the format's in a good spot.
yep,
So standard was good. Pioneer, kind of the same thing, no changes. Um, there had been some talk that maybe like Rakdos might be too good.
okay,
Like some people had talked about like maybe like bannable good, like a ban worthy good. But then you had like this weekend where the top four of the like arena championship was four basically
standard
standard mono
decks.
red decks.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny when I saw that.
Yeah, I think Jim Davis had mentioned it was like there may be like 12 cards different. It was like two cards, like some lands, and then a couple sideboard cards, but
Yeah,
otherwise it is just the standard deck.
and like what's crazy about that is like Mono Red didn't win the PT.
No.
Like if this deck is good enough to win a Pioneer event, like it didn't win the PT.
Yeah, it's just super weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, you seem to have like I have not played much recently, but like Junsack with like Yigra, I haven't seen that deck in like the Yigra version in like months.
Yeah.
When like I would play like Explorer from time to time. So like when we talked about like how to improve like that cycling deck, that was not a thing I was worried about. It was more like mono red.
Right.
Like, how do I not get dumpstered by mono red?
Yeah, I haven't played a ton of Explorer / Pioneer either. And I haven't really heard anybody complaining about the format, but I haven't really heard anybody saying that the format's great either. So like I don't really know where that leaves it.
It's so I just brought up the what's it called? The metagame.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very interesting that so Rakdos is 22%. Mono red is 16%.
Mm.
Gruul aggro, which I can't remember the last time I played against Gruul aggro.
Well, is that just Mono Red though?
No, this is Ezekiel's Chariot
Oh,
in
okay.
Keeper's Talent. Are the cards that MTG Goldfish is listing. But maybe like they just have a bad representative deck.
Yeah, maybe.
But no, it looks like it's somewhere in there because it's Questing Druid, Paw Patch Recruit, then Soulscar Mage, Manifold Mouse, Ember Heart Channel. So it's like Heartfire Hero. So it's a lot of mono red
Yeah.
in there. Yeah, I guess it's just Innkeeper's Talent, and then like, okay, this one doesn't have the like aggregate deck doesn't have an Azeka's trait. Yeah, it's basically just mono red
Yeah.
with extra steps. So you have like mono red basically being 27, 28% of the metagame.
Mm-hmm.
And then is it? So like it's 7.5, almost 8. So like the top half of the format is red. Is some red deck? That's so weird.
Yeah.
And then you have like Demir.
Well, what's weird, like it seems like, at least according to that data that you're looking at, like Wizards data is skewed. Because I may be remembering the article wrong, but I think they said that Rakdos, Jund Sack, and Mono Red were like half the metagame, and then half the metagame was like wide open. And from what you're saying, like Jund Sack isn't even in there.
Jund Sack is 7th on Goldfish.
Yeah.
At 3.8. Now I'm just looking at like Pioneer.
Yeah.
And like it's not like it used to be in terms of there's not a bunch of tournaments to draw data from. So maybe the Magic Online data, which is I think where Wizards pulls a lot of their stuff.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it looks different.
Yeah.
But it's like Rakdos is 22, then Mono Red and Gruul Aggro is basically just Mono Red is 28%.
Yeah.
And then Izzet Phoenix is 8%. So you have like 50% of the format is, or almost 60% of the format is
Red.
Rakdos, Mono Red with Forest, and then Izzet Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so half the format is, almost 60% of the format is red, which is not how it used to be. And then after that, you have Dimir Aggro 4%, Azorius Control 4%, Jund Sack 4%, Nykthos Ramp basically 4%, Mardu Greasefang 3.5%,
Yeah.
Enigmatic Incarnation 3.3%. But those first 4 decks are just such a huge part of the format.
Yeah.
So
the data does look a little bit different on MTG Top 8, but
okay.
not a ton different.
Yeah, so and then in Explorer, okay, there's not enough to like even bother with. There's only like 6 decks listed.
Yeah.
In the first one is a deck that has Absorb in it, so I just can't.
What are you even doing?
Yeah, what are we? And then Gates is one of the archetypes.
Yeah.
So no, that is not useful information.
Right.
There was one Explorer tournament, and they took the data from that.
That's what you get.
Yeah. So, it is. So I don't know, like if I agree, like. I guess there's a difference between is the format good or is the format diverse.
Mm-hmm.
And like true. if people are like enjoying playing this format,
yeah,
don't mess with it. But like if 28% of your format is mono red, like I can't imagine people are going to start complaining.
Yeah, we're gonna cycle back to that specific topic when we talk about legacy, I think, for a second.
Mm-hmm.
So remember that, and we'll come back to it.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, I mean, I really I haven't heard anything, anybody gushing about how great current Pioneer is, but I haven't heard anybody talking bad either. So it might be fine, and people might be content.
Yeah, like it's also, I forget who mentioned it, but like Pioneer doesn't have any major events coming up. It's not like a Pro Tour format or anything.
Yeah.
So on some level, like it
doesn't matter.
Wizards might just exactly. It might not matter.
Yep.
And they have not done a lot over the last few years since again, Pioneer started at the worst possible time.
Mm-hmm.
Like November 2019.
Right.
And after this first few months and then COVID happens, they haven't done a whole lot
to push it
and really instill faith in anyone that they care about the format.
Yeah.
So this is kind of par for the course, but it is awkward that they're it's there's all these cool decks and it's then you look at the place that most Magic players are going to get their data from, which is Goldfish,
Right.
because Wizards no longer provides data,
Right.
and it's just a wall of mountains.
Yep.
And it's like, is that a diverse format? Is like, you can play mountains by themselves, mostly mountains with a couple stomping grounds, and then mountains with swamps, and then mountains with islands. But like, those are your options. Like, that doesn't seem like, doesn't scream diverse.
I mean, maybe it's a good time to suit up your mono blue poopers.
Mono blue poopers, or is it Soul Sisters time?
Oh man, no, because
Like,
was it a Screaming Nemesis?
Screaming Nemesis
Basically shuts Soul Sisters off.
oh yeah,
And that's a card that is played in main decks.
yes, this is Dang, thought we had it figured out.
Mm,
All right,
unfortunately.
yeah, like I like I guess Explorer / like Pioneer, but like it has a problem that like a lot of formats, like it's just getting so much faster. It's like kind of like moving into like where Modern was, and I think it's just because we keep printing ridiculous like one and 2 mana cards.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, like this is a thing.
Yep.
So like it's we've talked about this, like as cards get more powerful, it pushes that like essential turn or critical turn like lower and lower and lower.
Mm-hmm.
And like these red decks, it's like they go like one drop pump spell, and you're like, oh, I'm taking like 8.
Yeah, I'm
like,
almost dead.
And yeah, and it's like, oh, like I might not be able to block next turn because if I kill their thing, it eats me.
Right.
Like, oh geez, like what am I gonna do? So you're like in this like
I'm telling you, suit up poopers. You just bounce it.
You just bounce it. Like so like part of the reason that Mono Red didn't do well at the Pro Tour is like it has a hard time against like Esper bounce.
Mm-hmm.
And like that deck's gonna get better.
Yep.
Because there's a card in the upcoming set, and like maybe that's like kind of the answer is you play this like, and I think Rakdos midrange kind of fills the same role of like I'm a pile of removal and getting some good creatures.
Yep.
So, all right. Up next is the one that everyone knew was coming.
Yeah, everybody saw this coming from a mile away.
I may have sold all my Underworld Breaches beforehand.
I also did.
So Underworld Reach got banned in Modern.
Yep.
So if you know the history of Underworld Breach, it got banned in Legacy first, and then Pioneer.
I think so.
And then for some reason, we just decided it was okay in Modern.
Yeah.
It was like too good for Pioneer, also too good for Legacy, but it'll be fine in Modern.
Yeah.
And so when they unbanned Mox Opal, you had fast mana, this like engine with the grinding station. You had your Emery to kind of like increase your mana by like getting back another Mox Opal or like drawing cards.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just had this deck that like kind of consistently won on turn 3.
Yep.
And could win on turn 2. Again, another Jim Davis quote. We're going to look back, and this might be the best deck in the history of Modern. And he was like, you think I'm joking, but this might be the best deck in the history of Modern.
Feels like somebody should put that to the test.
Yeah, really, we could.
Get out your Hogax.
Hogak and Eye of Ugin.
Yep.
Eldrazi. There we go. There's some content. We can just play the hits and be like, well, let's see. But then one of us would have to like become proficient with Breach,
Ugh.
which could be problematic.
Yeah, that is not my playstyle.
It's like, oh man, no wonder that they went 0-3. Like Brian like messed up every line. Shut up. If it was the best deck ever, I wouldn't have to know my lines. It would just carry me.
Yep.
Hogak just carried me, thank you.
Absolutely.
So, they like the unbans. Like Green Sun really isn't doing that much.
Right.
I don't think there's like a ton of Green Sun decks. There are some. It's floating around. They like
Yeah.
Opal.
They said
Like,
Green Sun found a home in Yawgmoth and
yeah.
Amulet decks, which is
Hmm.
where they expected it to find a home, but it hasn't really
Yeah.
like birthed anything new.
Yeah. And then Opal, like, if you're an old timer,
Hmm.
like, Opal's, like, job for the longest time was to make Affinity good,
Hmm.
right? And make Affinity work.
Yep.
And then, like, they started printing cards that just made random artifact tokens,
Hmm.
which then, like, broke Opal the first time.
Right.
Like, or more so than it had been. And, like, it always did, like, shenanigans.
Hmm.
But oftentimes those shenanigans were, like, tier 2, tier 3 shenanigans.
Right.
Right, where they weren't consistent enough or whatever. But now, like, you've got more of the other effects that make the shenanigans, like, a little bit more consistent.
Hmm.
Um, and so, like, the only thing that Opal really broke was Underworld Breach.
Yep.
There's not been, like, some other, like, Mox Opal deck. And, like, you think about, like, 2018 shenanigans, but 2018 shenanigans are, like, underpowered trash in 2025.
Basically.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man, like, this is so cool. And it's like, yeah, well, they printed this precon in Modern Horizons 3 that's too good even after they banned half the cards from the precon.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that. Uh,
You know
and
what
then
beats
Faith.
Hogak?
What?
Any of the elementals.
Yeah,
Solitude, endurance. Just pick one.
Yeah. And then we had the Unmanned Faithless Looting, which they were happy with. Like, that's one that, like, I would be fine. Like, if you're like, hey, you got to play Modern this weekend. I've got Sharks. I've got
Hmm.
Burning Inquiries. I've got Faithless Lootings. Like, I can just play that deck, and that deck would be fine.
Yep. It'd be fun to play.
Yeah.
And that's where they said Faithless has been seeing play too, is in the Hollow
Mm-hmm.
Index.
I mean, the issue is just like you said, like, the dredge decks have the issue of, like the best card in the deck is Faithless. There's only 4 of them.
Right.
And then there's been, like, way more and way better graveyard hate printed over the last few years.
Hmm.
Where, like, you can't, like, the play what got Faithless banned is Dredge, and then, like, they lost their mind and they were like, oh, we can't have, like, is it Phoenix?
Hmm.
Like, that was, like, the fairest deck to have in Modern.
Right.
Like, now that deck's not even played.
Right.
Um, but so, like, they're all happy with that. But, like, the thing that got broke was Underworld Breach, and Underworld Breach was deemed too good for, like, all the other formats.
Yep.
So, like, it just makes sense that it's like, yeah, we can just get rid of this now because we knew we messed up when they spoiled the card. I do believe we said, why did they make a red Yawgmoth's Will?
I think those exact words were in that episode.
Yeah, and it's like, it's just Yawgmoth's Will.
Yep.
Like, why did they... It doesn't even exile the spell. Like, why would they do this? And it's like, oh. 4-5 years later, they're like, oh. Red Yawgmoth's Will was a bad choice.
It's probably too good.
Probably too good.
Yep.
So, that's fine.
Yep.
I don't
Like
know about the rest of the format, though, like you said.
yeah, I really haven't, ever since Modern Horizons 2 or 3, I really haven't kept up with Modern at all. I have no idea where the format is. I have no idea where the problems are. I can only comment as an outsider.
Yeah. Which is sad.
Yep. Used to be my favorite format, or one of them.
So, Grinding Station was 13.5% of the metagame. And then Boros Energy was 10.7.
Yeah, that was another thing. They said that they still have an eye on Boros Energy.
Yeah.
They may do something about it next BNR.
It's weird that what's it called? Goldfish still have Amped Raptor as a card in Boros Energy. I'm like, I think it got banned.
Yeah.
Oh, and then so there's grinding station, and then there's team or breach, which is 6.6%, which I think are kind of the same deck. I could be wrong, but I thought they were kind of the same deck.
I thought they were too.
Uh,
You still have Goldfish pulled up there?
I do.
Did you happen to catch the Saffron Olive tweet about death rate?
No.
He was looking up pricing data, and I guess there were
Oh yeah, that they spiked.
some people specking on a death rate unban.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had spiked pretty hard in the last like month or two.
Yeah.
I had seen that, and it's like I'm like of two minds. On one hand, it's like, have you played against death rate? Clearly, no.
Yeah.
But then the other time, like I haven't played against death rate since
Fire design.
2019. Yeah, and like, is it still good?
Yeah. I mean,
Right,
what deck would even play death right now? Yogg.
Yogg.
Like it wouldn't make Jun good again.
No, like the time for one-for-oneing things is
long gone.
Long gone. Like we can't do that anymore.
Yeah, they buried Jun right next to Hogak.
Exactly. You just can't do it.
Same graveyard.
Same graveyard. Hey, but at least Hogak was in the graveyard. That's where he wanted to be.
That's right. It's where he wanted to be all along. Yeah, I can't even think of another deck that would want it. The thing is that it only does mid-range things, and the format isn't a mid-range format anymore. I mean, arguably there are no mid-range formats anymore.
No, there really aren't. Like,
I mean, we were just talking about Pioneer, and like all of the decks that we listed are either aggro or combo. And when we were talking about standard, like Overlords,
I guess Rakdos falls into like the mid range.
Yeah, it's still got an aggro slant though.
It does. But I mean, it's not like, but it's like a Thoughtseize Fatal Push deck.
Yeah.
And there, I don't think it plays any like 1-drops, like creatures. Like it's the closest thing, but like the problem is that. Right, like it is. They've pushed 1 and 2 mana spells really hard, which has sped up the formats, and then they've also pushed like 5, 6, and 7 mana spells like to the moon.
Yeah.
So right, like, what is the point of like casting your 3 and 4 drops when you can just cast like 5 and 6 drops that just invalidate them?
Right.
So you have like in standard, go over the top with like Beanstalk and Overlords.
Yep.
Or get low to the ground, and like even Esper Pixie is like kind of a mid-range deck, but it is also like very much shaped by the fact that the entire format is like super aggressive. So like you build your deck to deal with the aggressive deck, and then you just get clowned by the other deck, and so like you there's like a ceiling on like how much success you can have.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, I have like an 80% matchup and a 0% matchup. Sadly, they're both 30% of the metagame, so I have a 40%.
Right.
I have a 40% win rate. Oh, that's not good enough.
Yep.
So.
You got anything else for Modern? Or are you ready to move on?
I don't think so. I think we can move on.
All right. On to Legacy. And we do have a little bit more to talk about in Legacy. There were 2 bans. The first is Sowing Mycospawn, and the second was Troll of Khazad Doom.
Okay.
Now, to be fair, I have even less experience with Modern Legacy than I do with Modern.
Fair.
But I do think that the the first sentence of their explanation of the legacy bans is pretty telling on where legacy sits.
Okay.
It says, by the numbers, the legacy of today does a good job of emulating a balanced format.
That is interesting.
I just found that hilarious. It's just emulate. It isn't a balanced format. It's just emulating one.
It just looks like one. It's
Yeah.
fine. So the metagame breakdown right now is 20% Reanimator,
Yeah.
but so I went and watched what's his name? Oh gosh, Bryant Cook's like real time response to the bans and unbans, and he's like, I just don't play Legacy when I'm not recording it because the format is so warped around like blue black, and like Reanimator. So I think it's interesting if like we can see that maybe they're getting their Pioneer data from like Magic Online.
Mm-hmm.
Magic Online has always historically been like a much more like Reanimator heavy format.
Yeah.
Just because it gets wins quick.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you're just trying to like get in there and like get some wins, it gets wins really fast.
Yep, and that's where the Troll of Khazad-dûm ban comes from. Is the Reanimator lists. They were trying to do something to knock that down a peg, and they said it seemed like every single Reanimator variant played Troll.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right? A 6/5 that you can only block if you triple block it is a pretty quick clock.
Yep.
It puts itself in the graveyard, and it lets you trim on. So basically, it kind of takes land slots.
Yeah.
And it's also a shuffle effect for your brainstorms.
Yep.
So it kind of does everything that you want a card on that deck to do. Now, Bryant Cook's solution was he's like, they should ban Entomb. But like, I feel like Entomb sits in the like same kind of space.
Brainstorming Days.
Brainstorm Days.
Yeah.
Wasteland.
Force of Will.
Force of Will, that is a foundational, like, this is what Legacy is about kind of card.
I know it's going back a few years, but we talked about pillars of the format.
And, like, Reanimator has been a pillar of the format. Blue-black, red-black.
Yep.
Now back to blue-black for a very long time. And I think the issue is, much like with some of the stuff that's happened in Pauper over the last few years, like, the issue isn't Entomb, the issue is what you get to Entomb. Right? Like, so looking at, like, Dimir Reanimator, right? How many Grizzle Dads are in a Dimir Reanimator deck right now?
I mean, I would assume 4, but I have no idea.
0.
They're not playing Grizzle Dad at all?
No. So, like, this version, and again, like, the kind of the, like, you know, they do the aggregate. 1 Atraxa, 1 Archon of Cruelty, 4 Troll, and then a couple Murktide.
Wow.
So basically, they're getting Archon or Atraxa.
Yeah.
With their Entomb, and then they have Troll as like backup plan.
Yeah.
And they're not even playing. I guess they're playing Animate Dead and Reanimate. They're not playing Exhume anymore.
Oh wow.
Right, like the what they were saying is like Entomb allows you to have like such a small package.
Yeah.
You don't have to devote a bunch of spots to clunky cards. Right, the example Bryant Cook uses, like, think about Sneak and Show. You got to play 4 Emeralds, and then 4 more like Grizzlebrand Atraxa type cards that you just like draw. You you have to draw and then have your other thing, where Entomb allows you to just get. You know, it's a 1 mana thing that allows you to go get the thing that you need.
Yeah, you can be more toolboxy.
Like, exactly. But I feel like it kind of comes down to, like, much like when they banned a Tog, it's like a Tog's not the problem. A Tog was fine in Pauper for years.
Yeah.
It's the fact that you printed a cycle of artifact dual lands. That's the problem,
Right.
right? The problem is that we keep printing ridiculous cards that have to like compete in a 4-player format.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that kind of goes back to the birthing pod thing, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where they didn't ban birthing pod because it was too good. They banned it because it was too hard to make cards that were good with birthing pod.
Yeah, but like I don't know, it just seems odd that you'd be like you can have Reanimator, but you can't have Entomb.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you can have Delver, but you can't have Daze, and it's like,
Right.
well, no, then it's not Delver anymore.
Right.
It's like this isn't Entomb anymore, or this isn't Reanimator anymore.
Yeah.
So, like, it's one of those where like Trolls going to like how many lands does this deck play? This land's playing 17 lands and apparently one MDFC somewhere. I'll sink into Super. But it's playing 17 lands and 4 Trolls. And it's now going to have to play 19 or 20 lands.
Yeah.
So, like, that does something to help the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not be as, like, consistent, right? You don't have just kind of this thing in your land slot that also is a thing that you can reanimate.
Right.
So that goes a long way. And then but like I don't know if that's going to be enough to like not make it the most played deck in the format.
Yeah.
And then
so I hadn't even heard of this other deck. Do you want to take the reins here for a minute? Do you know anything about it?
Sure. A little. So they banned Sowing Microspawn. So the second most played deck, or sorry, third most played deck after Dimir Reanimator and Dimir Tempo. So it was Eldrazi.
Okay.
Mono green Eldrazi. And you're like, there are some builds that are kind of cloud posty.
Okay.
This one that I just brought up has like 17 creatures. So basically, you can kind of maybe not combo kill is not the right word, but like glaring flush raker, like the thing that like when you cast a colorless spell, you make an Eldrazi.
Yeah.
And when another colorless creature enters, you like ping them for 2.
Yeah.
Like you have the ability to like burn them out with a combination of glaring flush raker and like Kozilek's command.
Mm-hmm.
And Sowing Microspawn also lets you put together creature land combos.
Yep.
So there were Cloud Post decks that were using it as like the bridge that like also let you go get like more Cloud Posts.
Yeah.
And things like that. The play pattern issue that they talked about was the fact that you basically get to blow up 2 of your opponent's lands because you exile like a basic with the trigger from Sowing Microspawn, and then you get a wasteland, and then you wasteland them.
Yep.
So,
and with things like Ayavuga and Ancient Tomb, Eldrazi Temple, whatever, you can get that done pretty cheap, pretty quick.
So like they put out like you have a blast zone, so like you can take care of like 1 mana things. You have Ayavugan that lets you go get your Eldrazi and make them cheaper. This had like a Gaia's Cradle in it, so like you imagine you Kozilek's Return for 4 or 5, and then you go get a Gaia's Cradle, and you get to tap it for 4 or 5.
Yeah.
That same turn. So you have all of these like kind of one of lands that you can go get. So like that was kind of the play pattern issue with it. Like Kozilek's command is like way better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, surprising.
Like it's kind of just like the weirdest, biggest ramp spell.
Yeah.
Right? It's like I'm gonna like make at the end of your turn I'm gonna make 4 spawn and like draw a card. And now on your turn I'm gonna have like 10 mana and just like play something enormous.
Yeah.
So like they're kind of losing their bridge, right? Where like sowing Micah Spawn could kind of be like their bridge
Mm-hmm.
to be like, hey, I'm like on turn 3 or turn 4, I'm gonna play this and go get a wasteland to wasteland you, or I'm gonna go get like a Cavern of Souls to get my to make sure my next Eldrazi comes down.
Yeah.
So you have like, so they're losing their bridge, so maybe this deck won't be as good, but the like nuke your land, go get a thing to nuke your land was an issue. Like I think if you didn't have that play pattern, like what is it called? Like Cloud Post isn't even on the MTG Goldfish like list. There it is. 0.1% of the metagame. Or sorry, 0.9. Um and yeah, like that would be fine, but I think it's just um the fact that like you were just like getting all this land destruction and keeping your opponent off of actually playing their game.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Bryant Cook, and again, this might be he plays Magic online more than like, so this deck might be overrepresented.
Yeah.
Is he was like they need to ban Balustrade Spy.
Oh yeah.
It
Oops
was like,
is doing too good.
yeah, he was like, it would not surprise me if Oops is like the best deck in the format after this.
Wow.
I mean,
Oh,
you
I
think
mean,
about
it
it.
makes sense if Eldrazi's a Chalice deck.
Um, is it? It is. Yes,
Yeah.
it is a Chalice deck. And there's Mono Red Stompy, but like maybe not as chat. Like that could be good. Dang, broadside bombardiers is $7 a piece. Dang. Um, but yeah, like I could see like he was saying that he thinks it could be like too good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and like if you took out like the Battleship Spy, you would have to play. Was it Spy or maybe he said Undercity Inform? No, he was like Undercity Informer is the better of the two, so ban Undercity Informer. But like you can still play the deck. You could play like the terrible 5 mana card
Yeah.
that like blows up a land and then does the thing. Um, but he was saying it might be too good, and so making it have to play things like, oh gosh, what is it called? Um, I can't think. Like Charbelcher would like make it so it was more susceptible to Force of Negation and Force of Vigor and
Mm-hmm.
Consigned Memory, where like a lot of the creatures aren't susceptible to that.
Yeah.
Um, so is it? Yeah, you just mill yourself, and then there's like one Dread Return, one Narcomoeba, and then 4 Poxwalkers. Uh, and there's something where like Jack-o'-lantern is like apparently like the card that makes it all work.
Hmm.
Because people were like, you could just ban Jack-o'-lantern. I think you exile Jack-o'-lantern for a green, and then use that to cast like Memory's Journey,
Uh,
which then triggers the Poxwalkers,
yeah.
which then gives you the things for Dread Return. I mean, I haven't played Legacy in a while. I haven't seen a bunch of um, like videos that feature Oops, but like, what a crazy world we live in. If Oops all spells can be like, that deck used to just be like held together by like bubblegum and twine,
It was certainly a meme deck.
but it's currently the sixth most played deck in Legacy,
Yeah.
which is wild. And like, it's played more than Show and Tell.
Wow. That's a
Uh,
crazy place for Legacy to be.
that is a crazy place to be.
Have you watched any of 3BNU's stuff lately?
Not, I think I watched like one video recently, but not a lot. He's kind of fallen out of my rotation.
Yeah. I saw he just put out a Turbo Depths video, so I didn't know if you'd...
Oh, I might have to go. I might have to go look because we always gotta stay up to date with the newest and depthiest technology.
I think it was over the weekend he posted it.
Okay, I'm still waiting on like black remove all counters from target permanent. Like just like let's make this happen.
Yep.
Let's make Depths the best deck in the format for a few weeks. Can we please?
Get Brian out of retirement for a few weeks.
Yeah, exactly. We dust them off. We'd go search out some legacy events.
Yep.
Drive to Green Bay or whatever.
Whatever you got to do.
Like, let's go.
There was another quote in the Legacy article that I thought was
Okay.
kind of interesting. I figure we'll close out the Legacy section with that since we talked about the decks and the bans now. And they talk about how mid-range and control have largely been pushed out of the format. And like we just said, it's a lot of aggro and combo, and like mid-range and control haven't really been present. And they say, quote, player sentiment and event attendance has trended downward. It's apparent to us that people who love to play Legacy do not love to play today's Legacy.
Yeah, I mean, the people who played Legacy, right?
Yeah.
Played Legacy because they wanted to play Delver and Force of Will, and like they wanted to play like combo, like aggro control,
Right.
and like get small edges.
Yep.
Like Legacy used to be a format that you would like play a Pyromancer, cast a spell, and then you could win the game off the 1/1.
Right.
Right? That is like no longer
What Legacy is about.
what Legacy is. Also, like, so Painter is like the fourth most played deck. What color is Painter?
Red?
Blue.
Blue.
This Painter deck is blue. It's funny, the deck they have up is blue, but then when you look at the, like, you know how they do the aggregate deck?
Yeah.
Pyroblast and Red Elemental Blast. It's all blue cards, and then Pyroblast and Red Elemental Blast. 3.5 in 36% of decks. But it looks like 2/3 of decks are, like, blue now.
Huh.
And they don't have the blasts. But this deck also is playing one transmute artifact. Like, good on you for your $500 card.
Right.
Oh my god. I guess I sold my Painter Servants too soon.
Yeah, where are they at now?
$75 each?
Holy moly.
That's absurd.
Yeah. That was kind of the point that I said we'd come back to, though. Because we kind of touched on that quickly. The people that play the format don't want to play today's format.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you and I kind of fall into that camp. Like, we haven't played Modern in, like, forever.
Right.
And, like, I think if we were to go play Legacy, we would play, like, maybe an updated deck, but a deck from, like, 5 years ago or 6 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I was going to go play a Legacy event, I wouldn't even bother looking at the metagame. I would just pick a deck that I wanted to play for fun. And I would probably play, like, Madness or something.
Which, like, I would think is, like, is that deck, like, could that deck be good with, like, Sharks?
Maybe.
Because I did listen to a 3BNU. He was playing a Shark deck in Legacy.
Okay.
So that was the... why, like... So, they're, like, Sultai Depths. There are no blue cards. But okay. At least in the, like...
Aggregate.
In the... Yeah, there's a white card. There's swords. Four of them in 40% of decks. Like, it's just... And then, okay. This deck has 2 Troll of Khazad-dûms and 4 Reanimates.
In depths.
In depths. But it's also playing Overlord of the Baelmark. Which also doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because it doesn't get lands. But what do I know? And Barrowglyph, don't worry.
Sounds like some of the confused lists that we used to build.
Yeah,
Remember,
really.
Tin Fin's Depths?
Yeah, it's just Tin Fins. That was a that was Chef's Kiss there.
It was a sweet brew. I don't know if it was a good brew.
I mean, I can't take credit for that deck,
Yeah.
but yeah, that deck was good. So for those of you who don't know, it was um I think it's actually called Zabara Ice Station.
Yeah.
Uh and it's like it is the Tin Fins combo. So like Gristlebrand Reanimator with Children of Koilos.
Mm-hmm.
Stuck within like a Dark Depths package.
Yeah.
So like game one you could like Tin Fins them, and then game two you could Depths them. It was it was the best of times.
Yep.
But yeah, but I mean, I think that the combination of Horizon sets
Mm-hmm.
and oh goodness, and like Commander products
Yeah.
have really stripped the um Eternal formats, or like Modern and Legacy,
Yeah.
and Vintage to some degree, of kind of what their identity is.
That was just going to finish that sentence for you. Those were my exact words.
Right? Like, you know, I've gotta like play my Tameo and my Ocelot Pride, and like,
Yep.
we had to ban Ragavan from the format.
Yep.
Right? Like you just have like these cards that make it so like the cards that you're there to play, like even Dragon Rage Channeler versus Delver.
Yep.
Right? Like you play Dragon Rage Channeler, you don't play Delver anymore.
Right. It's crazy.
And like Delver was a thing like for like 8 years.
The entire life of the format was a thing.
Was like, yeah, it was like
Well,
wrapped
I
around
shouldn't
Delver.
say the entire life of the format, but ever since Delver was a card.
Yeah, so like 2012.
Yeah.
So like 12 to like probably 21, 22.
Yeah.
Like Delver was a thing, was like the deck.
Yep.
And like every so often something would like be better than Delver, and then Delver would like adjust a little bit, but it was always kind of at the top.
Yep.
And like people went to Legacy for Delver gameplay, both the like play Delver,
Yep.
and to play against like that kind of deck.
Yep.
And now like you can't do it anymore.
Right.
So like if people were like, it'd be kind of like if they somehow printed cards that were better than the Moxes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And like it pushed the Moxes out of Vintage.
Right.
And it's like, no, Vintage is supposed about me playing Moxes and Black Lotus.
Right.
Like, why am I not allowed to, like, why can't I play these cards anymore? And it's like, well, you can, but you're going to lose.
Yeah.
This, like, I can play Delver, but I'm going to lose.
Kind of rolls right into what they had to say about Vintage. I was just going to skip Vintage, but we can touch on this one point. Though the one thing that they said was they are still considering banning Lurrus in a format that doesn't get bans.
They had banned it and then they unbanned it.
They unbanned it when they changed the rules for companions.
Oh, for the 3, yeah.
Yeah. But it's back on the table. Like they're still considering banning it in a format without bans.
Yeah, it's wild that I own the most powerful Magic card ever printed.
Right.
Just have it randomly in a binder and it's $2.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is wild that that Loris is still so good even with the nerf.
Yeah.
That they're like, we probably shouldn't have this.
Yeah.
All right, so then the big bans, and this has taken longer to get this far than I thought.
Yeah.
Was Pupper.
Mm-hmm.
So like they kind of
put the format in a snow globe and shook it up.
Oh yeah, they nuked it.
Yeah.
So they got rid of Basking Broodscale, so there was the Sadistic Glee Basking Broodscale combo, which allowed you to like make kind of an infinitely large Basking Broodscale.
Yep.
Now, so like again, Bryant Cook talked about this, and he was like, I didn't think it was too good. Like, it's a creature and an enchantment, like you can kill those, but it was still like a good deck, right? Like he being a combo player, and I share the same thing, same sentiment sometimes, is that people like don't like playing against combo, so they react harshly to it.
Right.
So they were like, oh, we don't like this combo. So there was Jund Brood Scale and Golgari Brood Scale that were combined 12.8% of the metagame. So the most played deck in the format was like Green Black or Jund Brood Scale. So that's fine. Like, it's not too far out of whack.
Yep.
But they decided that combo was too good. Then they banned Kaldotha Rebirth. So the mono red burn decks, which they've been trying to ban stuff out of to make it not the best deck by a mile.
Right.
For like a year and a half now. They got rid of Rebirth, and I thought it was interesting that like so again Bryant Cook was like, they'll never ban Kaldotha Rebirth, but it's really the problem in mono red because it allows you to go wide and makes removal bad. Right. And it was like, holy crap, they banned it. But like a thing to think about with like mono red is now like a super artifact dependent deck. Right. Like,
man, it's almost like there's another problem with that format.
Yeah, but like you have, if I bring them up here, so Clockwork Professionist Artifact.
Yep.
Goblin Tomb Raider
cares about artifacts.
Is a Goblin Guide if you have that. Valduran Epicure makes an artifact.
Yep.
Galvanic Blast cares if you have artifacts. Kaldotha Rebirth, before it was banned, cares if you like, it needs you to have artifacts to be a card, basically.
Yep.
Experimental Synthesizer is a good thing to is an artifact, a good thing for you to feed to your Kaldotha Rebirth.
Yep.
4 Great Furnaces, right? Like, so like Kaldotha Rebirth just over the last like couple years has kind of gotten better as they have like printed more things that enable it.
Yeah.
Because like Clockwork Professionist came out in Duskmourn, so like 6 months ago.
Yep.
Voldaren Epicure is like 2 years old.
Yep.
Goblin Tomb Raider is 9 months ago. Like, it's from Ixalan. So it's like
Experimental
all these like,
Synthesizer.
yeah, I guess that's 3 years old now.
Yeah, it's still reasonably
still
new. Though.
New, like, compared to Kaldotha Rebirth.
Right.
So like you've just had all of these things that have like put more artifacts into the format.
Yeah.
And thus made Kaldotha Rebirth better, and again let you go wide. And like for 3 mana you could be like, I'll make 3 idiots, and then I'll also play a Goblin Bushwhacker.
Right.
And now I'll attack you for like 8 this turn. And it's like, oh, I'm in a world like, I thought I was stable, but now I'm dead.
Right.
And the thing I sacrificed might have gotten me a card for next turn if you somehow live.
Yeah, and like that's kind of the argument that they had for the other card that they banned also, which is Deadly Dispute. In that, like, it made an artifact that enabled all of this other stuff. It was a thing that you wanted to do anyway, and made an artifact.
And there are like all of these things that, again, all of these artifacts floating around. The artifact lands from Mirrodin block.
Yep.
The bridges. And then a while back, someone talked about how like card advantage and popper is on the board. Right, like everything that you play, like the way that you draw cards, or you play permanents that draw you cards.
Yeah.
So like Ichor Wellspring into Deadly Dispute, you see 4 cards.
Right.
Right? Like you played the Ichor Wellspring for 1, you sacked it for 1, then you got 2 off Deadly Dispute.
Yep.
So like you see a ton of cards off of like Deadly Dispute, Ichor Wellspring. Now, the artifact in Deadly Dispute is important, but like we do have a bunch of like other versions of this effect.
If you don't care about the artifact, but I think
you don't care about the artifact,
their point was that it was too good because it made an artifact. It was either an artifact you could use for artifact shenanigans, or it was a way to ramp you.
Yeah, and I mean, this effect for 1 mana is really good,
Yeah.
right? Like for 2 mana, it's less good,
Yeah.
right? So like the fact that it cost 1 mana mattered. So um, and it's a card that is in like a lot of decks.
Mm-hmm.
So there's gonna be a lot of decks like Grixis Affinity, Deadly Dispute, uh, Jund Brood Deadly Dispute, Golgari Brood also Deadly Dispute. Yep.
Yeah.
4 Ichor Wellspring, 4 Deadly Dispute. Not that those are decks anymore. Jund Wildfires, Deadly Dispute.
Yeah.
Tron, Deadly Dispute. Grow
Just
Ramp Can't
everywhere.
Deadly Dispute. Dimir Control, no Deadly Dispute. But like it's just a card that is like kind of everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so like maybe before it got to the point of like being just the identity of the format, you get rid of it because like it's kind of brainstorm,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like after like if you wait like another year or two, then people are like, well, no, this is just the Deadly Dispute format.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like I can see the point of getting rid of it. Um, and then we unbanned some cards.
Yeah, the whole unban thing I think is a little interesting the way they're going about it. Did you read the article?
Yeah, the like kind of a like preliminary or like test unban.
Yeah, I think they call them trial unbans,
Trial unbans, there we go, yeah.
where they're giving them like a date that they're going to come back and revisit it and decide whether yeah, it's the next BNR.
Yeah.
But like that's not usually a thing. Like I don't think in the history of BNR announcements has anybody said we're going to unban this and then we're either going to tell you it's okay or it's not okay at the next BNR.
Yeah, so like
the closest that we would have gotten is like Grave Troll, but they didn't tell us that they were going to reban it. And it lasted longer than that.
I think that this format is a format you can do that with. When you look at Burn, $73, Grixis Affinity, $76.
Yeah.
If someone goes out and like builds a deck that then gets banned out from underneath them, they're out like 4 overlords.
Yeah.
As opposed to being out like $4,000 or something, right?
Right.
So like this is a format, but also I think that it gives you you have the knowledge of like if I don't want to risk my $80 to build a deck that's using one of the 2 cards that are kind of on the trial unbanned list, I don't have to.
Right.
As opposed to saying, hey, build your dredge deck with Golgari Grave Troll, and then being like, oops, we shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
And banning it again, right? Like people may have behaved differently in that scenario if they were like, hey, we're going to unban Grave Troll, and then next ban window, we're going to reevaluate what the format looks like with it, and we could ban it again.
Yeah.
Right? Less people may have, like, played it if they knew... Yeah, if they knew it was, like, on the, like, to be banned again list.
Yeah.
Because people have talked about, like, we need a watch list so we know, like, what not to dump money into. And it's like, okay, here. It's unbanned, but we're watching it.
Yep.
Because we could be wrong. So they unbanned Prophetic Prism, which I think that Brian Cook put it best. I think someone on the Pauper Format Committee or Pauper Format Panel just hates Tron. like, why is this card banned?
Yeah.
Like, Energy Refractor is probably a better card.
Yeah.
Like, this is dumb. It's like, okay, you play more Pauper than I do. I will believe you. And then Brian Cook, you should watch the video. He, like, literally did a dance when he read that High Tide was unbanned.
Yeah, I bet he did. That's a card that's has his name written all over it.
Brian Cook all over it.
Yep.
I guess my question is, like, what are we doing with What are we doing with um? Goodness, what is it called? High tide. Like there are no storm spells anymore.
Right.
Like I don't know what.
What the payoff is?
Yeah, what is the like point
I'm not
of
sure.
doing uh high tide stuff? Like I just can't figure it out. Cause like normally you'd be like, I have all this mana, I'm gonna like storm off, but there aren't like things to do.
Is there a common brainstorm or brain geyser effect? Like is
Maybe
prosperity common? You can just mill
I
your
was I
opponent
was
out in one shot.
I was hoping that like he had posted his like, because he had a deck he was working. We'll find out Friday because he's gonna post a high tide deck.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not sure what the payoff is. Let's see here, Popper High Tide 2025. Is there like a deck list somewhere? Uh, Popper High Tide decks. Is Peregrine Drake legal? I thought it was banned.
I think it is banned.
What are we doing here? Yeah, what are we doing? Person on uses submitted deck on Goldfish. Oh, from 2017. Never mind.
There's your
Uh,
answer.
there we go. What are the what do we have here?
Prosperity is not legal in Pauper.
Okay, so okay. Poison Storm.
No, I don't know that one.
Rad Storm from one of the things. I think it's Rad Storm. No, Rad Storm's a rare, I'm sorry. So this is like Weather the Storm, Infectious Inquiry, like blue black, Contentious Plan, uh Steady Progress. What is the blue one? That like you draw a card and you give them a poison counter. Oh, Prologue to Pheresis.
Mm.
Each opponent gets a poison counter, draw a card. Like this could be mono blue maybe, where you like play for Prologue to Pheresis and you play like Experimental Augury,
Yeah.
Steady Progress, and like just like do that. So that's what this person said they thought could be the like uh could be the thing, but I'm not sure what the what the thing is. Like that just seems like uh seems weird.
Yeah, I'm not
It's
sure.
like yes, I can make a bunch of mana, but like what?
Like that's the thing though, is High Tide doesn't make infinite mana. It just makes a lot of mana.
Yeah. This one is like has an Una's Grace. Target player draws a card and has retrace. But like I don't think you can like
Yeah.
draw enough cards.
Right.
Like you don't have enough lands to retrace it enough to like do the thing. I guess they had like this has like a Narcomancer and Mnemonic Wall,
Mm-hmm.
and then Ghostly Flicker. So like you could like a Narcomancer or Mnemonic Wall, Ghostly Flicker it in like an island,
Yeah.
or like Ghostly Flicker two of them if you had enough mana, and like get back your Una's Grace and your Ghostly Flicker and like keep going. Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm like trying to like figure out
I'm sure
what the
Brad's
payoff is.
screaming at the podcast right now with what the kill and High Tide's gonna be.
Yeah, what the high tide kill is. Hey, I have the high tide kill
In your cube.
in the what's it called in my Tatiova
Oh.
Mythic Druid is like you get to like put a land, you blink a land, you blink like a Mystic Sanctuary
Yeah.
that I think is like banned in Popper already,
Mm-hmm.
and you like get back a flicker effect, and you put it in your hand, and then like I forget what the other thing you blink is, but then you just make enough mana that you just like draw your entire deck.
Yeah.
And make infinite mana and stuff. But yeah, like, I don't know. So it'll be interesting because there's not really spell based combo in Pauper.
Right.
Because it's so hard to interact with. But like they just got rid of the like creature plus like unplayable aura combo.
Yeah.
So like do you just like what's the
end goal here?
Yeah, like we don't like this combo, we're gonna try this other combo. And it's like, well, this other combo, like I can interact with it with like Snuff Out.
Right.
Or Naturalize. And the combo that you were giving me, I cannot.
Right.
Like I just like watch them like do a bunch of stuff. So yeah, but I don't know what the end goal is.
I mean, I would be here for some type of prosperity kill. I used to play Prosper Bloom like way back in the day. So if that made a return, that would be cool. But I don't think that Pauper has access to that.
I'm not sure.
We need our Magic Thesaurus to tell us. Maybe we should sick AI on that. Have him build us a Magic Thesaurus.
I've thought about it.
Yeah.
I thought about it. They say it can do so many things, the AIs, but Brain Geyser is not legal in.
No, Brain Geyser's on the reserve list.
Is it?
Yeah.
Weird. Okay, fair. Duly noted. There's only 108 cards that say target player draws. I guess how many of them are common? There we go. I forgot to put the common.
Well, Prosperity was both players. You just had a reshuffle effect, so you didn't kill yourself.
Okay. What is the stupid? Gosh, there's a stupid venture into the dungeon card.
Mm-hmm.
That is played in walls. It's some stupid blue wall. Secret door. 5 mana venture into the dungeon, activate only as a sorcery. And you just activate it enough that like you kill them by going through a dungeon.
Well, like I said though, High Tide makes a lot of mana, but it doesn't make infinite mana.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if that like would work.
Well, that's kind of why my brain went to Prosper Bloom.
Yeah, make like 60 mana and kill them.
Like that deck makes a lot of mana, but not infinite mana. For me, that deck hasn't been a deck for a very long time, but.
Okay, can I get a spell with like an X? Can I get like, is that just generic mana? X generic mana. Okay. How many X spells are there that are common? 0? That can't be right.
No, Fireball's a common, isn't it? Maybe it's an uncommon.
Fireball is a common. Yeah, I guess you could be blue-red and fireball someone.
Yeah, that's not as much fun.
It is not. I'm assuming that Caravex's torch is it a common? Oh, it's a common.
Oh, there you go. There's a kill.
So it costs 2 money. You have to pay 2 extra to counter it.
Yeah.
Well, interrupts. What is it now? Oh yeah, as long as it's on the stack, it costs spells that target it cost 2 more to cast. There's another one that was like uncounterable. Like the X was over a certain amount. It was like X over 5.
Oh yeah, what was that card? I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's probably not a common though. It is not. But yeah, there was another X spell that like that had that like can't be. Oh, Banefire.
Oh
Duh.
yeah.
Duh. But Caravix's Torch gives you a little bit of protection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but not as fun as just like being mono blue and just doing the thing.
Yeah.
Uh. So, is there like a way to mill cards in just blue? I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that'll be interesting to kind of see what the kill is. But it's again, I think it's funny that we're like can't have this creature combo, but the spell combo get me so.
That's a-okay.
It's like that is fine with me.
Yep.
Is it Dizzy Spell? Is that the? No, that's the that's the muddle the mixture.
Yeah. Transmute.
Thing. Transmute. Yeah, there's like a spell that like Stream of Thought. Target player puts the top 4 cards of his or her library into the graveyard. You shuffle up to 4 cards from your graveyard into your library. It has replicate of 2 blue.
Okay.
So 4 mana. So like if you make like 40 mana, you can mill them out.
Yeah.
So maybe it's Stream of Thought.
Maybe.
So.
Well, I'm sure we'll find out soon. Somebody will post a list.
Yeah, somebody smarter than me.
Yep.
That's not hard.
Somebody with more time than 2 hours a night during a podcast.
Yeah, really. 2 hours a week.
That's what I meant.
All right. We got anything else?
I don't. That'll wrap it up.
Yeah, so with that, I think we got a podcast.
Oh, one more thing.
Oh, one more thing? Okay.
All of the arena formats, no changes.
No change. Oh, yeah, okay. So that's good. So
Yep.
we can play our arena unscathed.
Yep. And that's it.
All right. So with that, I think we got a show.
We got a show.
So if you have ideas for next week, cards you want us to talk about, if you know what the $5 uncommon is, let us know so we can tell everyone else. So Facebook, Discord, Twitter, Blue Sky, email, all those links in the description. Say hey. Let us know what you want us to talk about.
Yep. Hit us up. What do you always say? Write the show for us?
Yeah, exactly. Program the show.
Program the show. That's what it is.
Carson needs a break.
I need a break. Yeah, like Brian said, all those links down below. Hit us up. If you're looking to support the show, there's 2 ways you can do it. The first is our TCG player affiliate link, CasualTryHard.com/TCG. Surf on over there, do your shopping, support the show at the same time. The second is through Patreon, Patreon.com/CasualTryHardMTG. Chip a couple bucks in, you get access to my show notes, you get access to our unshow, and you support the show.
Yeah. So with that, we'll catch you on the internet.
We'll catch you on the internets.